In this lesson, we will be creating a dummy read-only API through Github for getting data in our FunFacts app. Now, Github is not for creating APIs, but there's a little bit of workaround and we'll have a look at it shortly. The reason for creating this API is to allow our app to fetch new FunFacts every now and then when we make changes to the FunFacts online or in our read-only API. So currently we have this list of FunFacts hard-coded in our app, and eventually user will run out of these FunFacts. Meaning that if they see all of these fun facts in our list, they will no longer be able to see any new fun facts that we add. And if we need to make addition to these fun facts, we need to add it to this list and then rebuild the app, redistribute the app to every user who is using it, or push update to the Play Store or App Store if you are thinking to keep it there. That's a lot of hassle. Instead, we'll be creating a new dummy read-only API for using it in our app, and using that API, we can provide new fresh fun facts to our users. So let's get started by creating this dummy read-only API through GitHub. So navigate into github.com and log in your account. If you have not created an account, it's time to create one. After login, click at this plus icon and select new repository. Now we need to select the repository name, and I'll be keeping it flutter_dummy_API, and you cannot use any special characters or spaces over here, just the plain text, numbers, underscore and such. Alright. So once you select this repository name, you will be getting this available message. So now you can continue. Write a simple description and make sure you set this to public because our app should be able to access it. Alright. And you do not need to change anything here. Click at create repository. So when the repository is created, there are a lot of things that needs to be done, like adding data to the repository, committing, pushing and so on. But as we will be only creating a simple file, instead of using all these commands, let's create a new file by clicking at this creating a new file. And I'll be naming this file as facts.json. So this will be the JSON file which will act as an API. Alright. So let's move into the VS Code. So now let's copy these facts, everything inside of this big brackets and big brackets as well. Alright. So copy it and paste it in this new file. Now click at commit changes and confirm the changes. So click at commit changes. Alright. So here you can see this file is created. So click at this file and now click this raw button to get the raw file or the JSON file from this GitHub project. So in this URL we have a JSON data, and we can use this JSON data in our Flutter app for getting the list of fun facts. Alright. So let's move into our app and let's paste this just as a comment for now. Alright. So this is an API URL, and I'll be keeping this URL here for using it later. Alright. So this is what I mean by dummy read-only API. This is like sending a GET request into the server and getting a JSON data in response. And I'm referring to this URL as read-only API because user will not be able to modify data in this API or this JSON file, right? But as we are the repository owner of this file, we can modify it from GitHub, and we'll have a look at it later. So as the list data will now be fetched from the API, we no longer need this preloaded list. So clear everything and make it an empty list. Now let's import Dio package so we can make requests to an API. So now let's create a function over here. So void get data, and inside of it there will be a response data type response variable equals to Dio package dot get, and to get the data we'll be using this get request, and I'll be passing this URL over here. And this requires some time, so let's create an await statement here, and as this is await, this should be of async type. And we are not sure if this request succeeds or fails, so let's wrap it with a try catch block. So if this request is successful and we get the data, then we'll assign a value to this fact. So facts equals to response.data, and we also need to make state aware of it, so let's use set state over here. So now let's save the changes, and now we need to call this get data function in our init state so that data is fetched automatically on app start. So let's create an init state over here, and here we will be calling this get data. So now let's hot restart the app and see if we have any issues. So we have an issue in the response. In debug console it mentioned that response to data should be of list but is of type string. So I suppose this URL gives string instead of JSON. No worries. We can make it compatible JSON by wrapping it with JSON decode. And this JSON decode needs to be imported from Dart convert. Alright. And we cannot be so sure that this list data will contain only the string, so let's keep it dynamic. Alright. So let's hot restart the app now. So now the app has restarted, get data is called, and here we have this list from our API. If you are not getting this data in your page view builder, then look out for errors in debug console. Alright. So what I want to do now is that I want to show a loading state over here when the API is being called. So for that, let's create a boolean over here. So bool is loading equals to, let's set it to true. So now let's move into this page view builder at the center of the page. And so if this is loading, so is loading equals to true, then we will be displaying a center widget with the child progress indicator, circular progress indicator, right? And if this is false, we will be displaying this page view builder. So as this value is set to true, we will be getting the circular indicator here. So here if the request is successful, then I want to change this is loading to false. And to notify UI, set state is already here. And in case of error, I want to set this is loading to false as well. Alright, so let me hot restart the app again. So now the app has restarted. We are seeing the circular indicator, and when the request is successful, we are getting this page view builder. Alright, so now let's navigate into our GitHub repository. So here we have this facts.json. If you are having trouble navigating into it, you can click at this icon and move into your repositories, and you can get the list of repositories here. So click at it, move to this facts.json, and now click this edit icon, and from here you can change the contents of this file. So let's remove everything and let's keep 2 new strings over here. Click at commit change, confirm the change, and you might be getting this alert. Click at OK or cancel, doesn't matter. To make sure if this file has been updated, move into your repository again and have a look at this file. So when you make a change to a file in GitHub directly, then this raw data will take around 5 minutes to show the changes. So we are still getting the older data over here. Wait for 5 minutes and refresh the page. So after 5 minutes or so, this file has been updated. So now let's move into VS Code and hot restart the app. So now we have this updated data from the API. So now let's add some fun facts into our facts.json. And for getting unlimited supply of facts, you can ask ChatGPT for the fun facts. So give me 20 fun facts, simple ones in array. Array list is the same thing. When you prompt this, then ChatGPT will provide you with an array or list of data. So you can copy this list of data and update your facts.json. But make sure this file starts with the big bracket and ends with big bracket. Alright. So now commit the changes, confirm the commit, and click at OK or cancel. And after 5 minutes, you can see these changes in your raw data. So now the changes has been reflected. Let's move into the app, hot restart it, and see the updated fun facts. Now with the previous knowledge acquired while creating bucket list app, you can try showing error message here. You can have this try again button here, and you can make many more improvements in this app. I want you to try that. So that's it for this lesson, and in the next lesson we will be working on main part of this app, the global state management. So I'll see you at the next lesson.